Welcome students. Welcome to digital learning organized by Vivekananda Mission School, Gandhigram Godda. Today I have come here with a lesson which I am not going to disclose you. Rather I will show you one picture which will be sufficient to understand the basic concept of the story. So let's see the picture first. Students, look at the picture. What you understand from this picture? What kind of picture is it? Is it the picture of a temple? Is it the picture of anywhere else? Is it the picture of hospital? Is it the picture of any church? No, it is the picture of a mosque. And look at the people, how many people are over there and they are praying before the mosque. So students, could you identify such kind of overcrowded people in a mosque every day? I am asking you a very simple question. No. Basically, this kind of overcrowded people could not be seen every day in a mosque. Basically, in a single day, in the day of Eid, it's really very famous festival for all kinds of religions, not only for the Mohammedans, but also for everyone. It's a kind of really famous festival, and that's why what happens, most of the Mohammedans, they usually visit the mosque for their prayer. So here is the picture of a prayer in the festival of Eid. Now we are quite able to understand that what is the basic concept of the story. What the basic concept is nothing but about Eid. So after understanding the basic concept, there will be a lot of stories, sub stories, characters. So we will understand while going through the story all these things. Now move to the story, then it will be clear. Here is the text, the festival of Eid. As I told you, as I usually tell you, that before going through any text, what is necessary to do? We need to understand the title. What the title means, what kind of message the title wants to give you. Here the title gives you one message, that this story is nothing but about Eid. There will not be any kind of description about nature, there will not be any kind of description about or any kind of other things or anything else or any other kind of religious festival. It will not be regarding any kind of Hindu religious festival. It will be the discussion about Eid. That is the message what the title gives us. Already we understand, already we understood the basic concept of the story, at the same time the message what we got from the title. Now here is the overall understanding of the whole text is given over here. We have to read out this particular paragraph to understand the overall understanding of the text. Look at here. Hamid, a 4-year-old boy, lives with his grandmother in a small village. It is a festival time. Eid comes, a full 30 days after Ramjan. The whole village is agog with excitement. Preparation to go to the Idgah are in full swing. The other boys have their fathers to take them to the Idgah, and their pockets are bulged with coins to buy whatever they want. But poor Hamid has no father and has just 3 pies in his pocket. He sets out, dressed in old clothes and barefoot, with the other boys to the Idgah, which is about 3 miles from the village. Read on to find out how little Hamid spent his 3 pies at the at the fair. Now, here we got some characters. Already I told you, I usually tell you that at first we need to understand the meaning of the title or the sense of the title. Then we have to understand the basic concept of the story. Then we have to understand what it is, how many characters, prominent characters are there. How many prominent characters are there? Already we got one most prominent character, and that is nothing but Hamid. Hamid is the central character. If Hamid is not present there, the story will not be fulfilled. It will not be completed. So Hamid is the central character, and others are also quite important characters. But Hamid is known as prominent character, prominent protagonist of the story. If the boy Hamid is not there, that means the story is unfinished. What happens? Hamid lives with his grandmother, and he belongs to a poor family. He doesn't have his own father and mother. That means he is an orphan boy, while the rest of the people or rest of the children of that particular village, they visit the fair with their fathers and mothers, and that means they don't have any kind of problem to visit the fair. They have the economical strength, they have paternal support, they have family support, everything, so they don't have any kind of problem, they don't have sadness in their mind. Okay, but in the case of Hamid, it's quite different. He is a poor guy. That means here the story will try to raise sympathy. Sympathy for whom? Sympathy for the other people? No, sympathy for Hamid. Because if we will read the story, we will try to have sympathy for Hamid, because Hamid is a poor boy, how much difficulties he will face, okay, how many pies he has, and how much pies he has spent in the fair, all these things will make us cry. So let's begin the story, and at the moment when we will go through the story, I am quite sure that most of the students or most of the persons, if they will go through the story, if they will try to understand the story very much well, if they try to grasp the inner sense of the story, they have to cry, or their eyes will be wet, or their heart will be very you know oh, hardened. Now let's begin the story. Or before going through the story, for your expansion of knowledge about the author, it is necessary to have. Okay, here is the author Premchand. You could understand or look at the picture through which you could understand that this is none but Premchand. Now we need to have little bit knowledge about him. Earlier he was known as Dhanpat Rai Srivastav, and he was born in 31st July 1880. Okay, and better known for his pen name Munshi Premchand. So his actual name was Dhanpat Rai Srivastav, but Munshi Premchand was his pen name. Most of the persons, if you talk about Munshi Premchand, everyone could understand that this is none but a Hindi writer. But if you talk about Dhanpat Rai Srivastav, most of the persons who are unknown about this name, unknown about this real name, they will be in confusion. Okay, now was an Indian writer famous for his modern Hindustani literature. He is one of the most celebrated writers of the Indian subcontinent and is regarded as one of the foremost Hindi writers of the early 20th century. Early 20th century, you need to understand what is. Early 20th century means after 1900, this is known as early 20th century. That means this is the early 20th century. So here we got the exact period when he was famous for his writing. Okay, now so he was an Indian writer. Okay, and second important point is that he belongs to this particular period, and his most famous novels, you need to understand, no need to understand, or no need to understand the whole thing, just try to note down these basic things, that what is the pen name of that writer first of all, then what kind of writer is he, and then in in which period he belongs to, then his prominent works such as like Godan, Karmabhumi, Gaban, Mansarovar, Idga, all these are famous novels what he has written. So these are the basic not, these are the main important points about the author. and he has written short stories. Okay, here his short story is known as Soj E Watan. Okay, now these are the important points what you need to note down. So note down here. I am telling you the pen name, next one in which period he belongs to, which period he belongs to. Second one is prominent works. Third one, short story is known as what. Okay, so these are the important facts what you need to know for your expansion of knowledge, because most of questions will not be there, questions may not be there, I cannot say questions may not be there regarding the author, but for your expansion of knowledge, for your information, it is necessary to have the basic understanding about the author also. Now let's understand. He began writing under the pen name Nawab Rai. Look, another pen name he has also, Nawab Rai, but subsequently switched to Premchand, and then subsequently means very uh, very in the next moment he changed his pen name into Premchand. So earlier, at first he has taken the pen name Nawab, then he has taken the pen name Premchand. Munshi being an ordinary prefix, a novel writer, story writer. Look at the his field of writing. His field of writing was nothing but in the field of novel writing, in the field of story writing, in the field of drama. So that means in all fields he has given his contribution in the field of drama, in the field of story, in the field of novel. Most probably in all fields he has left his trace. He has been referred to as the Upanyas Samrat. Look, another you know uh, title what should be given to him, that is Upanyas Samrat. So there might be one kind of questions that who is known as Upanyas Samrat in Hindi. That means emperor among novelists. Emperor among novelists. That means the king of novelist. So he is really famous for his novel writing. That's why he is known as Upanyas Samrat. First of all, one question: who is known as emperor of novelist, emperor among novelists? First of all, or second question may be, why is he known as emperor among novelists? Because of his novel writing. His works include more than a dozen novels, around 300 short stories, several essays, translations of a number of foreign literary works into Hindi. So, this is about the author. Already we understood. Now, these are the list what he has written. Famous short stories, list of famous short stories are given over here. You need to note down all these things. So, please, I will not go through all these things. You have to note down all these names of short stories. Now here is the list of novels, novels and short stories I have given over here. You need to write down all these things. Now let's begin the text. Now we will move to the text of the festival of Eid. At long last, the Idgah comes into view. How the story is beginning. It is surrounded by palm trees and its cemented floor is covered with carpets. There are rows upon rows of porcipes stretching well beyond the courtyard of the mosque. Along with others, people from Hamid's village take their place in the back rows after washing their hands and feet. Well then, status to do not matter. They all worship together and it's beautiful sight to watch hundreds of people praying together. Now look at here. What is there in the first slide, or you could say in the first paragraph? In the first paragraph there is nothing but the natural description of mosque. What kind of natural description is there? How many people are over there, how they are sitting over there? Okay, all these are there in the first paragraph. At long last the Idgah comes into view. That means some people are going over there and they have seen, after a long time they have seen the view of, or the picture of, or you could say they comes into view, the mosque comes into view. That means what? They have seen the mosque. It is surrounded by palm trees, and its cemented floor is covered with carpets. Now these are the description of mosque. Okay, this is nothing but the description of mosque. What kind of description is there regarding the mosque, you need to write down. So there might be question. Write down the description of mosque, how it is. It is surrounded by palm trees. That means throughout around the mosque there are lots of palm trees. At the same time, the floor is what, covered with carpets, and there are rows upon rows of worshippers. And not only there, on the carpets, rows of rows, that means lots of rows are there. In all these rows, the worshippers are sitting over there or bending over there for their prayer. Okay, now, and stretching well beyond the courtyard of the mosque, along with others, people from Hamid's village. Now we will move to the story. So the people of, this is the description of the mosque. Now we are going to move to the story, that the people from Hamid's village, that means not only Hamid but also all people or most of the people of Hamid's village, they have also visited the mosque for their prayer, and they are also sitting there in a certain row, okay, in the back rows, after washing their hands and feet. And this is quite necessary before doing prayer. It's necessary to wash your hands and feet. That's why before praying, they have washed their hands and feet, and now they are sitting over there for their prayer. Wealth and status do not matter here. This is the prominent line what you need to understand. Wealth and status. Wealth and status means, look, the people from Hamid's village or the people whoever are there in the mosque, all these people are not supposed to be poor, or all these people are not supposed to be wealthy, is it or not? But they have to be there in the same way. They will be treated in the same way. If someone rich person has reached there, that doesn't mean that he will be regarded as a king, or he will be regarded, or he will be considered, or he will be welcomed in a different way. It is not the matter. So the behavior, nature, manner, action of all these people will be same, whether the people are rich or poor. So that's why the line wealth and status do not matter here means, if then that means there is no segregation, there is no dissimilarities in people in the matter of wealth. There is no segregation between persons. There is no any kind of you know uh, what I say, differences between the people regarding wealth. If the if they are poor people, they are supposed to stay outside of the mosque, and if they are rich people, they are supposed to stay inside the mosque. These sort of rules are not there. All are considered supposed to be the prayer and nothing else, whether they have the wealth or not, whether they have the status or not, whether they are rich or poor, that doesn't matter. They have the same kind of freedom, they have the same kind of right. They have the right to go there for their prayer. They have the right, if rich has the right to sit over there for their prayer, in the same way the poor also have the same kind of right to reach there and to have the prayer sitting beside the rich person. This is the basic line. This is the basic understanding what you need to have about this line. This is quite important line you need to know. And it is a beautiful sight to watch hundreds of people praying together. Really, it's really very mesmerizing scenario. It's really mesmerizing scenario. Why I am saying mesmerizing? It's really very good to see all these people are sitting over there without making quarreling, without making sound. All these are people sitting over there for their prayer. That means this shows the brotherhood among the people. This shows the internal relationship of the people. This shows their good friendship among themselves. Is it or not? Okay. Now, first slide is over. Now come to the next slide. The prayer is over. At last the prayer is over. So the prayer, all these people they have done. Now what is going to happen? People met and embrace each other as is customary. Now this is the customary action. This is the customary action. What happens after the prayer? They are supposed to embrace each other. They are supposed to hug each other. So after the prayer, all the people they hug each other. Then they descend on the street. So the sweet and toy vendors, stores like an army moving to an assault in this matter. Now look how this is the reaction of the people, how they are moving towards the vendors, exactly like army, exactly moving like army. Then they descend onto the sweet and toy vendors, basically where they are moving after their prayer, they are moving towards there, that means they are rushing towards there, they are running towards there, where towards the vendor and the sweet shop. And like whom? Like the army persons. Like the army person means they are rushing. Have you seen the march? Have you seen the march of army? If this is compared, this is the action of the people is being compared with the moving of army. Why? This shows their, you know, this shows their attraction. This shows their, what it is, affection for the sweets and also the enjoyment. Okay, like an army moving to the assault. Assault means for you could understand from here. Assault means, yeah, the meaning is must be given over here. Assault means attacking karna. Okay. In this matter, the grown-up villager is no less eager than the boys. Look, here is a swing now. So every people, whether they are children, whether they are young one, whether they are older, all these people are with the same kind of intention. They have the same kind of intention. They have the same kind of energy. They move towards everywhere. Someone moving, most of the food lover people, they are moving towards the sweet shop vendors, while the grown up people, grown up villagers, and also the teenager people, they are also moving to their favorite areas, such as, like, look at here, the boys, they are moving towards the swing. Okay, so they have their different segments of like and dislikes. Pay one pice and enjoy riding up to the heavens and then plummeting down to the earth. Now it is the description about swing. When the boys move towards the swing, what they have seen, they have to pay one pice for have a single round. Oh, single round. It's talking about merry-go-round. That's when if they want to have a single round in the merry-go-round, they have to give one pice. Okay, now, and here is a roundabout. Swing is also quite same like roundabout, but it's a little bit different. Okay, so here is a roundabout strung with the wooden elephants, horses. Now in the case of roundabout, we need to understand what is swing and what is roundabout. In the case of roundabout, what happens? You will move in a circle manner. You will move in a circle manner, and here everywhere, elephants, dogs, horses, all these kinds of wooden animals or wooden wild animals are created in the roundabout, and the young one or the children or the boys, they usually sit over there and they enjoy the ride. Okay, but in the case of swing, it is little bit different. In the case of swing, sometime you will go up, that means you have seen the swing, so that's quite easy for you. Suppose that here is the swing and you are sitting over here, someone will push you, sometimes you will go towards the up and sometimes you will go toward, when you will come back, you will come down towards the earth. Okay, so here it is the description. So the boys, they started moving towards the swing and roundabout, what we told. Here is a roundabout strung with the wooden elephants, horses and camels. So what kind of wooden elements are there in that roundabout? You need to understand. Wooden elephants are there, horses are there, camels are there. These three kinds of wooden things or wooden animals are created in the roundabout. Okay. Now pay one pice and have 25 rounds of fun. Now in the case of roundabout, if you will pay only just one pice, you will have how many rounds? In the case of swing, it was different. In the case of swing, it was different. If you pay one pice, you will have just only single round. Is it or not? You will have just only single round. But in the case of roundabout, what? If you will pay one pice, you will have 25 rounds to have fun. Okay, now move. Hamid's friends Mahmoud, Mohsin, and Noore. So here are these sub characters. These are the sub characters who you got. So who are they? Mahmoud, Mohsin, and Noore. these three characters except Hamid, the central character, we got. So these three characters are also there, and what they are doing over there, look at here. Other boys mount the horses, camels. So these three boys, not except Hamid. Hamid has not gone there. Except Hamid, these three friends, Mahmoud, Mohsin, Noore, and other boys. And the other boys, they also uh, wanted to have enjoyment in the roundabout, and they have done it. As because they have the money, and that's why they did it quite easily. Now, Hamid watches them from a distance. But Hamid watches them from a distance. Why he started watching from a distance? Because he didn't have sufficient money to have the enjoyment in the roundabout. And that's why all he has are three pies. What I do here is the economical problem what Hamid is facing. How much money he has kept with him? He has just only three pies. So if you will spend his one pies in the case of roundabout, then how much money will be left with him? Only two pies he will be left. So then what will happen to him? He will not be able to do anything. That's why he watches them. He watches the enjoyment of the other boys in the roundabout. This is called the suppression. This is called the suppression of his own wish. He suppressed his own wish. Anyway, he controlled his own wish. That okay, he wanted to have, as because he is also child, so he also wanted to have the enjoyment in the roundabout, but he suppressed his wish because he didn't have sufficient money. He cannot afford to part with a third of his treasure for a few rounds. Now look how much understanding he is. He is obviously a child, but a matured child, because he has the importance, he knows the importance of money. Look, here it proves the importance of money, that he has the importance of money. I told you earlier that Hamid has the importance of money. Why? How we could understand? That he knew it very well, that for single round or for few round, how could it could be possible for him to spend one pice? So he knows where to spend the money, how to spend the money. Okay, now here is the picture of the fair. So for today, this is the first portion of the story. In the next video, we will try to cover up the whole story. Thank you for staying with me.